Whis pretty much explains the Dragon Ball multiverse here. There is a multiverse in Dragon Ball, by the way, and each universe has their own set of gods of destruction and of course angels, but we're not going to talk about angels because they're literally too overpowered to even get in versus matches. Even the gods of destruction are some of the top beings of the food chain when it comes to the strongest being in the universe, basically. For the most part, a lot of the different gods of destruction can actually one-on-one each other, battle each other to some degree. You know what I mean? It makes sense. Just because you're a god of destruction doesn't necessarily mean all the gods of destruction are necessarily equal. For example, there's implications that different gods of destruction have different power levels because Beerus talks about how Vegeta's not strong enough to fight himself. He probably could be a god of destruction of another universe, meaning a weaker god of destruction. Not to mention, there was like this little expedition in the manga only, of course, that when all the gods of destruction got like in a little entanglement tournament type thing, there's an argument to be made that he could be the strongest god of destruction in the multiverse of Dragon Ball because they ganged up on Beerus. All these different gods of destruction of other universes, so they're ridiculously powerful as well. He does surprisingly well in these manga panels. But my bad, I'm going to get to this later on in the video. Don't want to get ahead of myself, but yeah. Let's talk about Lord Beerus today, or what I used to call him back in the day when he first got announced, Lord Bills. Don't judge me. I actually like the name Bills. Dragon Ball as a whole is pretty clear cut when it comes to strength, speed, and everything. It's a fighting type anime. So there's loads of characters that have good martial arts ability, fighting skill, strength, speed, reflexes, blah, blah, blah. And just like most characters, Beerus has these things as well, along with energy projection type of techniques. He can punch really hard or strike really hard. One could say he can manipulate his inner chi, something everybody has, to make his hits even harder. When you're a top tier like him, simply poisoning him ain't gonna cut it. He even roasts you when he says, you tried to poison me with something like that. Like that would kill him. Due to being a god of destruction, he has access to techniques not everybody has. Destroyer type techniques like Hakai, how he can erase you from existence. This is not the same as simply killing a being and they go into the afterlife. When he erases you from existence, you don't even go to an afterlife. Literally confirmed they don't go to the other world. Their existence will be destroyed. Apparently, he can't kill immortals though. But he can erase ghosts. Due to him being a destroyer being type of being, to where even if somebody else is stuck in destroyer energy, he can simply troll and blow off destroyer energy. You guys know of gag type characters like Popeye the Sailor Man, characters that are not supposed to be taken seriously for stories because of comedy, like Looney Tunes and SpongeBob, right? Usually beings that are gags have the plot literally on their side. This type of stuff doesn't necessarily work on Beerus. When he was in this episode with Areli, a gag type character, that stuff won't work on him. No being funny and beating him because it's funny. One can say this is an example of a destroyer technique, simply tapping an egg, turning it into dust. One can say transmutation or something, or just destroyer technique. You remember when this old guy got trapped in the Z-Sword? It was because of Beerus. He did it in an instant. One could say he knows some type of sealing techniques to be able to do this. He apparently has techniques like Tien and can clone himself or do some multi-form technique. You know what? Let me stop. But when you put all this stuff in mind, he already sounds scary and I haven't really got started yet. But let's analyze him. You see the aura? Yeah, energy manipulation. You already know that. He can surround himself with energy to amplify himself. You already know. How strong is he? Let's get it. He hasn't perfected it, but it's definitely confirmed that he has Ultra Instinct. Just hasn't completely mastered it though, because nobody completely masters it. It's stated here that his body can sense attacks and make decisions to dodge them. And when it comes to fighting speed in Dragon Ball, do I really have to go over them being faster than the speed of light? Beerus is a god tier of the verse, so of course he is. At this point, probably millions of times faster than the speed of light. Matter of fact, the gods of destruction was so fast where when even beings like Goku, this is including Beerus in this conversation, by the way, they're so fast can't even figure out who's fighting who because of fighting speed. It was even so fast to the point where even Zeno, the god of gods of all the universes, couldn't see nothing because it was too fast. He said it was boring because they was going too fast. In real life science, apparently, the Earth has been around for millions of years, imply that Beerus has been around this long as well, implying he's millions of years old at least, if we go by our Earth scientists that say how the dinosaurs existed millions of years ago or whatever. Millions or at least bare minimum thousands of years old, Beerus, so one could say he off gate has fighting experience from being alive this long. Honestly, saying he can hit or blast hard is an oversimplification. His fighting skill is kind of underrated too. Like, this dude intricately uses chopsticks to toss around beings, and even does parries like this to strong beings like Piccolo, for example, and even hits some type of pressure points on Piccolo to knock him out instantly, basically. Because on occasions like this, we see him do chops to the back of necks and stuff. When we're talking about his blast power, this is standard Dragon Ball stuff. Him casually sneezing. He can produce energy blasts, basically, that make Goku look worried and Vegeta look worried. You see the planets or planetoids floating around their planet, he can just blow away just with a simple sneeze. Oh, my bad. He blew up a moon with a sneeze. In the manga adaptation of it, he actually just blasted him, trying to hit him on purpose, and blew up a moon. It's already proven he can blow away a moon. That's actually not all. We've actually seen him blast away half a planet. When I say planet busting in Dragon Ball is lightweight, I mean little small low effort energy blasts like this Beerus can produce can cause catastrophic destruction to an entire planet with ease. And when it comes to this type of stuff, their durability can withstand a planet exploding in their faces. Are you honestly really shocked that somebody on Beerus's tier can destroy planets? This guy can destroy planets with less than 1% of his energy or power. I mean, from time to time, you will even see Beerus fight other gods of destruction level beings like Champa, his own brother, for example, them just flying through space. And it shows that their blast power and their punching power are similar because just how I showed you Beerus destroying planets with blast, Beerus and Champa can do the same with kicks, and notice how they did that, then flew to the next place, implying massively faster than the speed of light type of speeds, basically. And them two just destroying planets with punches, then flying to the next planet, and then the process just keeps repeating, showing how effortless planet busting is to them. So he can blast planets away, or produce punches and kicks. Doesn't really matter how, but yeah, punches, kicks, blasts, he can destroy planets. You think destroying a planet is something? Beerus has literally destroyed 2 suns, stated by Whis. If we're assuming Dragon Ball suns are similar to the size of our suns when it comes to how it compares to the Earth, I mean, I can show you examples all day of diagrams comparing how big the sun is compared to how small the Earth will look in comparison to it. When you compare the sheer size difference between the sun and the Earth, one can even say Beerus's blast power can blast away thousands of Earths at the same time if he can blast away 2 suns. So we know he can blast away suns. You guys know Goku, right? You know he has different Super Saiyan forms. Each Super Saiyan form, the higher it gets, the stronger he gets, obviously, right? You got base form, you got Super Saiyan, maxed out Super Saiyan, blah, blah, blah. You got the Super Saiyan 2 form. When it comes to Super Saiyan 2 forms in Dragon Ball, even earlier in the series, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Cell had a beam struggle. Gohan overpowered him. Super Saiyan 2 level being was able to overpower somebody or a being that can blow away the entire solar system. Super Saiyan 2 level beings can do this. When Vegeta was super pissed as a Super Saiyan 2, Beerus can casually block these attacks. And it was basically like, what are you doing? You got Super Saiyan 2 level beings. He can heavily suppress himself and still flick and knock out beings this powerful and make them turn back into their base form. Here we got beings that are way stronger than Super Saiyan 2 level beings, even stated on panel here. Not to mention this is 7 years later. They've been training, so it makes sense for him to be stronger than Cell at this point, or Gohan was at this point. Vegeta at this point as a Super Saiyan 2 was no match for a fat Majin Buu. Majin Buu literally was punching Beerus with his strength. Beerus literally treated his strength like a joke. So if a Super Saiyan 2 can already blast away a solar system, how much blast power do you think a Super Saiyan 3 has, which has a multiplier of at least ×4 type of destruction? And you guessed it, Beerus' striking power. He can chop and make him go to sleep, and he's holding back a lot of his power. I mean, it's one conversation to handle Majin Buu, but then there's another conversation to be had when he can handle Majin Buu and a being like Gohan, for example, that was able to handle a stronger version of Buu. Super Buu, for example. Beerus can one-shot knock out both these same entities at the same time, basically. Is this really that hard to believe, considering we know he can take out 2 suns? That he can definitely effortlessly blow away multiple solar systems if he just had to with a blast. So we know Beerus is a divine being. When it comes to all his attributes, he greatly surpasses Super Saiyan 3 level beings by a hilariously large margin, to the point where he can even flick them away. So Goku actually had to get his own form of divinity. I mean, both Goku and Vegeta both got their red-haired god states, divine states. And you all guessed it, even in this divine state, Goku fights Beerus. Beerus can still hold his own against him, obviously. And you guys know of the most famous feat in Dragon Ball up to this point when it comes to the universe-shaking shockwaves that Beerus and Goku can produce, to the point where the universe is in jeopardy itself. Beings that are nowhere near the battlefield, all the way on the other side of the macrocosm, can feel the impacts of these punches, proving that Beerus' kicks or punches can tremble the universe, clashing with Goku in his Super Saiyan God red-haired state. I mean, technically, there's multiple universe-side structures within this Dragon Ball 1 universe. These different realms, they all are feeling the impacts of this heaven and stuff. And all this madness are trembling. Whatever retelling you're talking about from the source, whatever, they talk about destroying the universe itself. And just in case you think these kind of statements are an exaggeration, It's actually a thing that forbids two gods of destruction to fight because of the collateral damage is too great for a universe to handle. Like in this occasion, they casually talk about how they don't care what happens to this universe anymore. Stuff like this is stated in the anime, manga, that two gods of destruction can't fight, the universes will be destroyed. Even filler writers know, like baseball episodes, they even know it's taboo for two gods of destruction to fight each other. The same stuff they say in canon, they say in filler episodes. Because are you two trying to destroy the universe? Too many universal type statements. It's just crazy consistent at this point, manga and anime. It's funny how other people even notice that these angels talk about universe busting type stuff so casually. Let me stop. Notice when it comes to Beerus's blast power, look at everybody's fear in their eyes, even though they're gods of destruction themselves. They blocked it, but yeah, they was worried though. Even though this god of destruction thing was brutal and they was all damaging each other, there was this one part where it looks like Beerus had the advantage over one god of destruction here when it comes to his raw punching power. Notice when they showed this barrier, other gods of destruction say, you saved us. Like, yeah, that would have been the end for him there. You know what I mean? Respect Beerus. Man, I might as well make a freaking checklist of all the different forms Beerus has surpassed or is way above. When it comes to raw power, we know red-haired Goku can shake the macrocosm, but what if I told you even blue-haired states, which is an even stronger form, similar to how Goku can shake the universe, Vegeta can do that too, because he has the same exact forms and even a higher form than red hair. So basically, Vegeta is in the shaking the universe club at this point. Matter of fact, they might be able to shake multiple universes or 10 or 15 universes at this point, and Beerus is physically strong enough to stop his attacks in a higher form than red. Might I add, he's kind of playing around with him. Blast, he can swipe away with his physicals, gets the upper hand on him here. He got decked in the face by Vegeta in this form and just made him mad. And pretty much told him, don't get ahead of yourself. Cause all this collateral and puts Vegeta in this powered up state asleep. And Beerus talked about he was going easy on him, so even Super Saiyan Blue is nowhere near Beerus. He even goes as far as saying, at this rate of how strong you're becoming, it'll take you 1,000,000 years to be his rival, saying they got a lot of work to do. And for those curious, it was literally stated on panel that he has complete control over Super Saiyan Blue. Beerus still did this to him and humbled him, basically. So we already know he can fight Goku's divine red-haired state, and we know he's way stronger than this. He has an even higher form known as Super Saiyan Blue, which we do not know the multiplier for. But if this red-haired form for Goku has enough punching power to shape 5+ universes in this form, we know Beerus clashed with this. Whatever that red form, we know Goku can do more in this state, for example, so he can do a similar feat in this blue form if he wanted to. But the scary part is we actually have a number of when Goku uses this technique known as Kaioken. We actually have a multiplier for how many times he can multiply his power with this Kaioken times 20. So if we know he can shake 5+ type universes in his red-haired form, what the heck can he do in his blue-haired state when he multiplies it by 20? That's like saying 5 universes are multiplied by 20, because he can already shake 5 universes if he multiplies that by 20. That's like saying he can shake 100 universes, which means that Beerus can do something like this as well, shaking the universe or multiple universes times 20+, because he's above Kaioken times 20 Super Saiyan Blue. See, the one thing that makes Beerus such a threat is because one can say he has plot on his side because they conveniently retcon his power basically to where all them previous statements about certain beings rivaling gods of destruction basically get retconned. Because it seems no matter how much Goku gets new forms, new techniques, even keeps training, even though Beerus is always sleeping, somehow his power stays ahead of Goku despite these new forms and techniques. Like this Master Ultra Instinct form he used against Jiren here, he gets a better version against this super wizard being, godlike being known as Moro, who was ridiculously strong. Goku in this state, you know, because Goku's always training, in this state, he's way stronger than he was back then, but the writers still imply that Beerus is ahead of him, apparently. Matter of fact, it was even stated when it comes to Ultra Instinct by Beerus that if Goku was to achieve Ultra Instinct at his current strength, it would be far more stable than ever before, aka when he fought Jiren Terminative Power type stuff. So how is Goku not past the Beerus yet? Is Beerus getting stronger as the story goes along, behind the scenes, getting his power retconned by Akira Toriyama or the Dragon Ball Super writers? It's occasions like this when Goku is in this perfected Ultra Instinct state and Beerus just looks like, oh, okay, he's doing well. Like, he doesn't see him as a threat. Like, what? Is he not past you yet, Beerus? You see what I'm saying? They're retconning his power. Even though it should be noted that Beerus did give him respect where respect is due, even said he fights godlike. And notice this arc, for example, is after the event of the Tournament of Power with Jiren. You know, Ultra Instinct fought Jiren and stuff. Goku straight up says he's never came across anybody as tough as him. I'm assuming he's not including Beerus in this conversation. He's never seen Beerus' full power yet, I guess. I guess he's talking about Jiren and Broly at the very least. Not to mention Instinct, because he talked about how it's incredible how his body moves now, implying that it moves on its own like Ultra Instinct. But likely, since Moro's body isn't used to handling angelic level power, even power one could say is above gods of destruction usually. Usually angels are above gods of destruction. That's why when you see occasions like this, when gods of destruction are going crazy, the angels have to step in to knock them out with a quick chop. Moro's body was getting pretty much obliterated because his body couldn't handle the strain of the angelic power. He pretty much became one with the earth itself so his body can contain the angelic power. His body was getting overloaded to a point where his energy continuously kept swelling up. Despite Moro having all this angelic power, Beerus was calmly saying, oh, I guess I'll step in this time. I'll lend a hand, implying that he could still defeat him, even powered up like this. So we know he's stronger than God forms that can shake multiple universes like this, right? Beerus is even stronger than even higher forms like Super Saiyan Blue. Same with him being above a first stage of Ultra Instinct. But they're low-key implying that one could say he's above and even mastered Ultra Instinct, at least the one in this particular arc version of Ultra Instinct. With the introduction of this arc, they're implying that Beerus is an Ultra Instinct or even higher above level being. It's implied that Beerus still could get a win on this guy, implying his aid would actually come in handy despite him fusing with the Earth and having enough power that his detonation could actually obliterate the entire galaxy, wide radius type stuff. But at the end of the day, all of this could be just me. Did you know Beerus was this strong? His power keeps getting retconned to being higher than it was for a previous arc. So Goku can have more to work towards because he's apparently supposed to be his in-game rival or something, implying that he can take on a being that had literally angelic power. Like a noob angel, though. Beerus was a newbie angel. He wasn't on the level with Whis, but that's still incredible that it's implied that he could beat a being that literally copied the powers of an angel. Even though his power was becoming unstable and he couldn't really control it that well, that's still impressive. Respect Beerus. But before I get going, I gotta say thanks for the donations, everybody. Helps out a lot. Respect Beerus. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.